Here we go again. Another bank holiday, huge traffic jams, hours-long queues at Lake District Superchargers, headline news on BBC, don't buy an EV. All true apart from one tiny-weeny little fact. It doesn't have to be like this. Dave Takes It On also headed into the Lake District on May Bank Holiday Monday and had a totally different, extremely enjoyable experience. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe. The channel has really taken off far faster than we ever imagined, but we need those subscribe buttons clicked so that YouTube shows our videos to a wider audience. I planned ahead and set off early. As a kid, probably around 10 years old, I well remember getting up at ridiculous o'clock while it was still dark, collecting the spam butties prepared the night before, while my mum made the fresh flask of tea, and then being bundled into the car, which was already loaded with buckets and spades and deck chairs, with my dad explaining the roads will be ridiculous, we need to beat the traffic. And we always did. This is the motorway as I found it nearly 60 years later on this Bank Holiday Monday. Mile after mile of almost zero traffic, calm, relaxed, peaceful, just cruising. And when I got to T-Bay Supercharger, it was totally deserted. I still remember clearly the BBC News last year of T-Bay chargers being totally full to overflowing, Teslas queuing for hours to get enough charge to get home. This year, I was the only one there. Luckily, as I had planned ahead, I didn't need to charge at all to get back home. I topped up to 95% the night before on my cheap rate electricity. I still had 75% state of charge left. And I didn't have to queue for breakfast either. The restaurant was fully open, but equally deserted. I ordered, found most tables totally empty, so chose a window seat. I really enjoyed my bacon and egg sandwich with a large cappuccino, watching the ducks on the lake outside. Later, the road to Windermere was really quiet, and Windermere itself still waking up. Plenty of empty parking spaces. I didn't spend the day there. This journey was specifically to achieve two things. First, to see how quiet the motorways were if you get up early. Second, to see the queues at T-Bay Supercharger. Well, the first was a success. The motorways were totally deserted. The second was a total disaster for filming. No queues, plenty of empty chargers. Here is what I think most people did from what I saw that day. We've become a nation of numpties. They struggle to wake up around 8 or 9 a.m. It is a bank holiday, they deserve a lie-in. They wander about aimlessly, have breakfast, look outside, see the sunshine, then spend half an hour on their smartphone seeing where will be the sunniest, which is the best beach, then spending half an hour turfing everything out of the shed to find the deck chairs, windbreaks and buckets and spades, which always takes an age because they're always at the back of the shed. Then not forgetting to load the kids, who don't want to go anywhere. They let them know often and loudly they would much rather spend the day locked in the bedroom, gaming or snap tweeting to their friends, and finally they all set off, and it's nearly noon. Only to queue for an hour to even get onto the motorway. So much heavy traffic, often totally gridlocked, stop-start. But eventually they get going. Then they see the signs for the beach, or the lakes or whatever, and the traffic stops completely. A quick glance at the battery's state of charge and they discover to their absolute horror the battery's almost flat. Well, they weren't sure if they were going to go to the beach. The air conditioning's blasting away as the sun rises yet higher. They fire up ZapMap, can't get a decent phone signal, and then finally find a charger nearby. And then when they get to that charger, it's an amazingly extortionate price, and there's a long, long queue, with an old Nissan Leaf or Renault Zoe already plugged in, whose owners are sitting in their deck chairs, eating their sandwiches, obviously in for a long spell and determined to enjoy every minute of it. They finally arrive at the beach, Lake Mountain, and spend an hour circling around looking for a free parking spot as close to the beach as they possibly can, refusing to pay the £5 per day in the official car parks. Finally, they squeeze in somewhere not ideal and tell the kids, enjoy yourselves, they're at the beach. What did they expect? Are people really that I don't actually know the word I'm looking for. The weather doesn't change that quickly. And if it does, it can change to rain while you're driving there, even if it was sunny when you do set off. Do they really not know the night before? If they're going to go, can't they decide yes or no the night before and plan the journey the night before? The very worst that can happen is to wake up to find rain and freezing temperatures that were definitely not in the forecast the night before and decide not to go. If there's even a chance you might be going driving to any popular holiday spot on a bank holiday Monday, charge your car up to the maximum the day or night before. In my videos, I always say it's better to charge just what you need. That applies equally here on a bank holiday as well. If you're likely to hit bad traffic and the public charges are likely to be full, you need to charge to a much higher state of charge, possibly even 100%. That's what you might need. Much better to charge the night before. It's guaranteed no queues. You've got a free choice of where to get the cheapest prices. And if the weather is appalling, well, all you have is a fully charged car that you can use for the rest of the week. I'm still staggered at the number of people who leave charging to the last minute as a sort of afterthought, like, oh, look, my state of charge is almost zero. Didn't expect that. Who used the car last? Didn't you check it? Must find a charger urgently. Well, sandwiches are a bit dated now, but in the place are Starbucks, Costa, Subway and McDonald's that are often open 24 hours a day and offer a real treat to the car's younger occupants. As a change to a hastily grabbed bowl of cereal or bit of toast and a tea bag in a mug. Why waste time and eat a miserable breakfast at home on a bank holiday Monday when you can get on your way earlier and treat the family to a proper breakfast? Kids will love it, getting them on your side for once. There's also nothing wrong with a packed picnic. Do it the day before. Pack your plug-in cool box with sausage rolls, pork pies, hard-boiled eggs, croissant, pan of chocolate, donuts, crisps, loads of drinks. Your car will probably have a fruit, that's the front boot, so pack it full of goodies. If you then choose to eat out when you get there, just take it all home and eat it over the next few days or put it in the kids' lunch boxes. It won't be wasted. Well, as kids, we got used to those really early starts, sometimes in the dark, and getting there really early and finding no traffic, either there or on the way. The favourite discussion topic was why on earth did we have to get up so early? There was no traffic at all the way there, and the beach is also deserted. And then quite quickly the beach would fill up. We'd keep our choice location, nicely spread out, windbreaks, blankets, deck chairs, buckets and spades, watching while others arrived and tried to cram into the few remaining spaces, other than those outside the public toilet. We'd watch the huge queues at the only nearby cafe, while sipping hot but very stewed tea from our family flask. We'd also set off, either really early or really late, for the journey home, again to avoid traffic. And it was here that we finally thanked Dad, when we watched the BBC News and found that the whole country was gridlocked for the vast majority of the May Day bank holiday. Except us. This is not a new phenomenon. Bank holiday traffic nightmares date back to the 50s and 60s. Think Brighton mods and rockers, with many, many more cars on the road these days. Why would anyone ever expect to find the roads clear and the beach and the chargers deserted? I travelled just to do some filming for this video. I left there around lunchtime and simply filmed the entire journey home. Now that will be a movie worth watching. I'm Dave.